guys, great to see you all again. Awesome having you back here with me. Today we're going to briefly discuss 5 awesome tips that's going to help you when you're actually in your interview. And we're going to have a look at 5 key aspects that you should consider when you do your interview with your prospective employer, right? So be short and sweet again, I promise, and straight to the point. So let's have a look at these 5 top tips. Right, the first one you've always got to remember is that you really do need to be prepared for your interview. You can't just go to your interview or attend an interview not being prepared. Preparation is really the key in having a successful interview. So don't forget that you do need to prepare. You need to study about the company you're applying for, perhaps the history of the company and what the company's achieved. Okay, you need to know about the place that you want to work for, right? So that's really important. You also need to be aware of the role that you are applying for. Okay, so what does the role that you're applying for entail? What are the qualities they are looking for? What are the skills they hope that you may have? So always remember, you need to do some little bit of research about the company and obviously about the job role itself that you're applying for. You need to know exactly what they are looking for. Awesome. Okay, so the next tip is that you've got to look presentable. All right, you've got to look smart and presentable because first impressions do count, right? So make sure you're properly groomed. Your hair is not out of place. It looks tidy and smart, and you're wearing well-ironed clothes or pressed clothes. They're not dirty as well. So do try to remember that people will form a first impression on the way that you are presented, right? The way that you look. So do not underestimate this. It's really, really important. You do need to make the effort and look really smart and tidy, presentable. Awesome. Let's go on to the next step. So the next tip is when you have your interview, be punctual. Always arrive before the time of the interview, right? Be as early as possible. Show your enthusiasm, okay, by arriving early, not like at the last few minutes or even 5 minutes before an interview. You know, do arrive within time for an interview. And even if it's an online interview like through Skype or a telephone interview, if it's on Skype, make sure you log in first, you know, that you're waiting there. Don't let them log in and let them wait for you, right? So be punctual in your timing. That's really important there. Another great tip here is that you really got to know your CV inside and out, all right? Because you may be questioned about your work experience and education, and it's really important that you are well aware of what you wrote in your CV. Nothing worse for an interviewer when they're asking you some questions about maybe your job experience and you can't remember what you wrote. It'll make you look embarrassing, perhaps if you're unable to answer their questions. So do study your CV, do go through it, do review it before your interview. Okay guys, so the last tip is that always make sure, okay, to be aware of your body language. You want to have a positive body language, right? Make sure you have good eye contact with the interviewer or interviewers. Don't look at the ground or don't look up the ceiling. Don't fidget around with your hands or put your hands through your hair or maybe play around with your tie. Okay, it's going to show that you're nervous, right? So just be aware of your body language. Smile as well. Yeah, don't show that you're nervous by not smiling. Okay, have a nice smile because it will make the interviewer a bit more relaxed as well. If they see that you're relaxed, they will be relaxed as well. So don't forget your eye contact with the interviewers. Don't have to stare them out, but just have eye contact with them now and again. But don't look down or don't look up. Don't be tempted to fidget with anything or like a pen or a tie, or keep putting your hand in through your hair. Okay, So be aware of your body language. You may want to practice before going into the interview, with your body language. If it's an interview face to face, make sure you have a good firm handshake there as well, because that will make a good first impression as well. If it's an online interview, maybe through Skype or a Zoom, don't forget your posture in your chair. You don't want to be leaning over too much. You want to have a good posture, straight, good posture there, which will then give them a good impression of you. It's nothing worse than you have you're slouching over, or they may get the impression that you're not really taking this interview very seriously, or you're not very attentive, right? But by having a good posture, it will show that the interviewer knows that you're attentive to what they are saying, and also interested. All right, awesome guys. I hope these 5 tips will help you in your interview. So as always, take care and stay awesome.